It's time for Waking Up with Wesley. Today's forecast and weather-wide discussion with WLOX First Alert Weather's senior meteorologist, Wesley Williams.
Waking Up with Wesley is sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.
Hello there, Sounds Mississippi. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Thank you for waking up with Wesley on this Monday. So as we start off the day after Father's Day, on Friday I wished you a happy early Father's Day. Today I'm wishing you a happy belated Father's Day to any of those fatherly figures out there, dads, and everyone celebrating with family and friends yesterday. Hopefully you had a good day. We did have some showers and storms pop up in the area, and believe it or not, one of them produced a waterspout right there near the coast, near Gulfport, and a lot of people sent us pictures and videos of that. We're still sorting and sifting through them all, but that's what we're going to do this morning, take a quick look at some of those. They were pretty impressive, and then we'll talk about the why behind the waterspout, and then cover today's forecast, which features, you guessed it, more June heat and rain chances, and why you might want to continue to stay hydrated. We'll give you a few tips on that too. So without further ado, let's get to the video of the waterspout from yesterday. Here's a video that was sent to us from Gulfport, from Susan. And you can see right there on the water surface, the water getting kicked up. At times, Susan pans the camera up and you can actually make out the funnel in the sky, but when the camera is tilted down, that's when you can see how much it is kicking up that water. And this actually is very interesting because not only did you capture the funnel, but you also captured the moment that the waterspout moved ashore, moved from the waters of the Sound to the sands of Gulfport. Look at the sand getting kicked up, causing a sandstorm on a very isolated spot on the beach. Looks like it made its way close to Highway 90 there in parts of Gulfport. That was one of the many videos that we received. Here's another video. This was from Carmen. Now this was a little bit more to the west of that. This was in Long Beach, so you get more of a view. You were farther away from the waterspout, so you can capture an even better view of that. And again, just an incredible view there of that funnel stretching from the cloud down toward the ground. Very impressive thing on any day, but certainly as you're right there at the beach on a holiday, Father's Day. You know, people might be out celebrating or spending time at the beach, and here we have a waterspout, which, you know, fortunately this particular one did not cause any damage, did not cause any injuries. I did not hear any reports of injuries, fortunately, but it is certainly something that can be very disruptive. And if you were in the very specific spot, I didn't see anyone in the video, but if someone was standing in the spot where the waterspout moves ashore, you're getting hit by a sandstorm, all of that sand very abrasive to your skin. It could get into your eyes, get into your nose. It's just a very, you know, kind of dangerous thing to be right next to. Certainly if you're on a boat when the waterspout is still over water, that's also dangerous because it can capsize the boat, overturn your boat, and then you're dumped into the water. You got the waves whipping all around you, water flying everywhere too. So it can be dangerous whether it's on water or land. But a lot of times these things, they're not very big in size, so the areas that they impact are usually very isolated in nature. So that was a couple of the videos that we, I guess I put onto my Mac system, but there's so many more of the pictures and videos that you can actually see on our website, and that's what I'm going to pull up right now. If you go to WLOX.com/weather, this is what you would see, our weather page, and it's simple. If you just scroll down and then look on the right here, that's where all of the weather gallery is for all of our weather pictures and videos that have been approved from our viewers. Now, we're going to scroll through some of these and get to some of the waterspout ones. Here was one from Robert showing the waterspout landfall on the beach. Just look at that. I wonder if I can make this a bit bigger and open it in a new tab. There we go. Wow, we can get real close view of that. Just look at that funnel in the sky there, coming all the way down from the cloud, right down to the water surface. You can see for reference, there's what appears to be the Island View Casino. There's the Hancock Whitney Tower. This is downtown Gulfport, Mississippi Power Building. And we're looking from the west of all of that toward the east, I would imagine. And there's that funnel coming all the way down from way up in the sky, touching the sand and the water there. Just a very impressive view. Let's see if we can find a few more of these. Oh, I guess Robert sent a couple of things. Let's see what else. So I guess this was after the moving ashore. At this point, the waterspout is on the beach or even farther to the north. It looks like sand is getting kicked up there. There's the funnel coming down, and then maybe some sand getting kicked up very close to Highway 90 or just to the north of Highway 90 perhaps, in some place near East Long Beach and West Gulfport. Here was another picture, probably from that same thunderstorm. This was in Ocean Springs, and it must be facing to the west because there's the sunset. I think that is indeed the same thunderstorm to the west of Ocean Springs, which would be Gulfport. I actually drove through that on I-10 after it had produced a waterspout, and it caused a really heavy downpour on I-10 and areas near that. Here is a video from Jackson County. I guess there must have been some lightning. He says it's electrical storms. Ooh, that's cool. Let's see if we can loop that again. Do y'all see that lightning there? So yeah, very electric storms yesterday. There's a picture from Vanna. She's saying a tornado. It was a waterspout, although sometimes when waterspouts move ashore, they can be called tornadoes because they're no longer over water. And you can see that funnel right there. Man, it just looks, it's like Dorothy getting taken to Oz or something. You know, it's just got that impressive view right there in the Gulfport area. Let's see, a few more before we get to the reason of the why. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Laura got a waterspout and a rainbow at the same time. So looking on the left, you can see the waterspout and then the heavy rain. But because the sun is setting at the same time as heavy rain, you can get this rainbow too. As we zoom in, you can see even a better view of that rainbow right there. And like I said, on the left side of the picture, there was that funnel from the waterspout closer to the shoreline. Or a number of pictures from Laura showing that. I'm going to hit like on this one. Did y'all know y'all can hit like and vote for the ones you like the most? This one's really cool because you captured multiple types of weather, a rainbow and a waterspout. I love it. Geeking out on that. All right, we got a video from Alice. This was that waterspout over Long Beach, which again, if it moves ashore, you can call it a tornado. We'll attempt to full screen this. And yeah, this is looking from Long Beach. You can see the location there. And right there, not too far from what appears to be Ray's Barber Shop, you have that waterspout and or tornado, which again, I remind you, did not cause any injury or damage as far as what I've heard. This was the video that we showed you earlier from Carmen. And here's one from Shane showing the waterspout. Looks like from an area in Gulfport. You can see that right there. So again, many viewers. When it hits the second most populated city in the state, you can imagine many people are going to see this and share their videos and pictures with us. We showed you this one from Susan earlier because it was so cool with the zoomed in view. So thumbs up to that. And even more viewers sending their pictures and videos. So now we're going to break down kind of the why of how this happened. And in order to do that, we got to take a look at the radar recap. Again, another big thank you to all of our viewers who sent those pictures and videos to us in the WLOX weather app. So this was the radar yesterday morning. We didn't have much rain. So for folks celebrating Dad, on Sunday morning, you were able to enjoy many rain-free hours. But as usual, you can't keep the rain away forever on a typical summer day. And there were those thunderstorms that really developed Sunday p.m. Areas like Pearl River County, George County, seeing them during the 3 o'clock hour. And look at all that lightning near Lucedale and the downpours near Poplarville. But it's this other sneaky storm that began to pop up around 4 p.m. Let me draw your attention to this area. I'll circle it in red. This area down here, that is the beginnings of that waterspout producing thunderstorm. It began just to the south of Hancock County in coastal Louisiana, not too far from Lake Bourne. And that thunderstorm continued to move off toward the west. It didn't look like much of anything here as it approached Cat Island from the west, just a little tiny shower. And then before you knew it, it started to intensify. And at that moment, that's when it began to produce that waterspout that many people took videos and pictures of just offshore of Long Beach and Gulfport. And it was making a beeline for the Harrison County coast. And it just continued to move more and more to the north and east before it moved ashore right there in parts of Gulfport. And then, as you can see, those showers and storms hitting the Gulfport area, the waterspout likely dissipating not too long after it made that move ashore and became a tornado. Not too long after that, it did finally dissipate. As you can see, the rain lost that intensity as it moved farther to the north of I-10, and it pretty much wound up falling apart at that point. But if I can go through this one more time, I'm going to try to do a little bit more zoom on our radar map so you can track that a little bit more closely and get the exact location of that landfall, if you will, or wherever the waterspout moved ashore. So there's a look at the 4 p.m. time frame. You can see that thunderstorm there just to the south of Hancock County. There's that 5 p.m. time frame approaching Cat Island. And then there's that 5:30 time frame. We're going to zoom in much tighter this time around to get that precise location for you. Again, we had viewers in Long Beach at this point. They were taking a video of it. They were looking from Long Beach at the waterspout. A lot of times when you look at these thunderstorm cells on radar, you look for where there's kind of a kink in the radar echo. A lot of time that's where a waterspout would likely, or a tornado would likely be produced, the hook area of a thunderstorm cell. And this one, you can actually see that area right about here, right where there's the most curvature in that radar echo. So if there were a waterspout, it would have likely been in that portion of that thunderstorm cell. And as we slowly move this forward, we can continue to see, I would imagine by this point in time, by 6 p.m., the waterspout probably moving ashore right here, somewhere in this general vicinity. I can maybe draw a little bit bigger circle. It's hard to tell exactly using this type of radar data. It's a less precise, more composite radar data, so it's not easy to tell exactly where that hook was. But it's somewhere, like we said, in eastern Long Beach, western Gulfport. That's basically where the waterspout wound up moving ashore. And then it moved inland after that, causing quite a bit of heavy rain near the Gulfport airport. And then seeing that downpour crossing I-10 toward Woolmarket and Cedar Lake shortly thereafter. So, what a Father's Day Sunday, where Mother Nature had a few tricks up her sleeve with that waterspout. Today, we'll see another round of pop-up summer-like storms. They could produce similar hazards, including waterspouts primarily offshore. A lot of times during the early summer season, you can get these tropical funnels and waterspouts typically from May into the first half of June. Then toward later summer, you don't really see as many waterspouts anymore, but this is that season. If you want to call it waterspout season, you could, typically from parts of May into around the first 2/3 of June. Of course, not only will we see the chance of summer-like storms today, which can produce hazards including heavy downpours, which could lead to flooding, also perhaps some frequent lightning in any of the stronger cells. Maybe there could be, of course, some of those heavier downpours that, like I said, could lead to the flooding risk. So don't be caught off guard by that. The UV index, before any storm begins, the sun is shining brightly, and that UV index is at an extreme. So you do want to monitor your your UV protection, your UV safety, making sure that you're taking those precautions, taking breaks or getting into the shade when you can, and of course wearing sunglasses, wearing a wide-brimmed hat. Anytime you have the UV index all the way at that extreme category, that's about as high as it can go. It's at an 11 today. And so sunscreen, also a really big help. Apply SPF 30 or higher and reapply at least every 2 hours, if not more than that. Some people on a day like today can get sunburned in just as little as 10 to 15 minutes, so it does not take very long to be exposed to that. So the sunburn risk is high today, but we're also going to take one last moment here to talk about some hydration tips, because it's important to stay hydrated while we deal with these typical June temperatures. Even though there's no heat alert, no heat advisory, no heat warning or anything like that, it's just kind of typical right now. But even with that, you got to make sure you're not getting overwhelmed and overworked by this heat. So here's some hydration tips. This is the time of year to make hydration a daily habit. And remember, when you are thirsty, it's actually already too late. You're already becoming dehydrated. That thirst is your body's signal to you, telling you that you are becoming dehydrated already. So you want to make sure you're drinking enough water so that you don't even get thirsty. You got to drink and stay hydrated before you get thirsty. Don't wait till you get thirsty to start drinking. Those refillable water bottles also, of course, come in big help, as you can carry them and handily have them wherever your travels take you. And this is fun to say, you can eat your water, right? We talk so much about drinking, but if you are eating hydration-rich foods, that also goes a long way to boost your hydration. Things like cucumbers, things like watermelon, oranges, smoothies, even soup to an extent. Although a hot day, I'm not really reaching for a bowl of soup, but that is a way, to eat your water, so to speak, where you're eating things that are rich in hydration, so that you don't have to work so hard to guzzle down the gallons of water or whatever, but instead you can, throw in some hydration-rich foods too to mix it up, in case some of you are not a fan of water, which there are plenty of people who are not a fan of drinking water. Well, there's a fun way to mix it up and make it a little bit more different. Finally, if you're participating in outdoor activities, I know sometimes in the mornings people do yoga at the beach. Of course, sometimes also maybe you're heading out to a farmer's market in the morning as well. If you're participating in these outdoor activities, you want to make sure you're drinking before you head out, and of course afterwards too, to replenish your body's hydration. Last thing we'll do here is take a quick look at the 7-day forecast, which will feature a similar pattern as we get that 7-day forecast loaded for you. It features a similar pattern as we go through the next several days, in which we'll continue with the typical June heat and the daily pop-up summer-like storms, but perhaps there's a switch. As we get closer to the weekend, we might trade out those higher rain chances for instead just more heat, with some lower rain chances possibly toward the end of the week and this weekend. Well, that'll do it for this Monday edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. I hope that you have a wonderful Monday, and we'll catch you again on the next one. Take care.
Waking Up with Wesley has been sponsored by Exclusive Auto Brokers. For the best deals on wheels, visit Exclusive Auto Brokers on Beatline Road in Long Beach.